What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We've got another game week, which means we've got another episode of value hunting. It's game week 15 on Sorare. So we're going to be diving in, trying to find some players with a cap well below 20 that are projected to pop this weekend for game week 15. And as always, if you are new to Sorare, do me a favor, sign up using the link below in the show notes to get you started. If you get 5 cards from auction, you will get a 6-1 free. It also makes me look really good. And of course, we'll be using our friends over at Momentum Labs to take a look at some of the projections for this upcoming game week. Let's dive in. All right, the first situation I want to talk about before we even look at the marketplace for Sorare cards is the Utah Jazz. So Keontae George only played 4 minutes last night in their win over the New York Knicks because he got injured, and he's going to miss their next 2 games. The Jazz are already without Jordan Clarkson, which means we've got to fill in some of those minutes. So let's start with Colin Sexton, who right now has a cap of 20 and a projection of 29, but I actually think that's going to get boosted a little bit. You can see his season 2 cards here. Colin Sexton's limited is going for $12, his rare for $34, and his super rare for a balmy $12.22. However, if you're not a year 2 max and you look at year 1, you can get that for $6 over on the limited side. Now let's go check out Talon Horton Tucker. Again, his year 2 limited is only $4.70. You can see his rare for year 2 at $30.59. If we look at the rare, you can actually get his year 1 for 20. He's got a cap of 20 as well. So similar to Colin Sexton, who Sexton would be my first choice between these two. However, THT has a projection only a 1.5 less than Colin Sexton. So if you're just looking for the discount, go THT. If you want the full projection, go get Colin Sexton. And if we really want to go off the board, let's look at Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn has a cap of 9. And right now, only a projection of 13. So it's not huge. But I do think there is a real boom bust factor with somebody like Chris Dunn. If somehow he runs himself into, say, closer to 25 minutes, and you're getting that cap of 9. Again, the cost of just under $6 for a limited, and then his rare year 1 right there under $17. All right, let's head over to the Bing Bong Boys of New York, Madison Square Garden. We just got the bad news that Mitchell Robinson is going to miss 8 to 10 weeks, which is brutal. Now, Thibodeau went out and signed his best friend, Taj Gibson, so he's going to rejoin the team. But in the first game without Mitch Rob, Jericho Sims, not Hartenstein, was the one that slid into the starting lineup. We're going to talk about Hartenstein next. Obviously, I prefer him as a fantasy point per minute guy. Hartenstein's way more efficient and effective, but Jericho Sims is the guy that started, and his cap is only 3. Now, his projection is like 16 or 18 or so, which is beautiful. Playing somebody like Jericho Sims with a cap of 3 allows you to jam in a few MVPs if you're playing a champion lineup, or really put in some studs in a contender. But we probably only have Jericho Sims for this game week and maybe the next one, because once his cap gets up to 8 to 10, I'm kind of out on the Jericho Sims experiment because I've done this before. But staying in New York, let's go over to Hartenstein. You can see his cap is of 17. He projects just around 30 points, and he is by far the preferred target. Obviously, he's a little bit more expensive. You can see with his limited card here for year 2, it's at $16. His rare jumps up all the way to 42. And just by looking at the photo, I think I prefer the year 2. Year 1 looks a little bit more like a mugshot. Year 2, he's like, hey, I like my role here in New York. And lastly, we're going to head over to the Bay Area. Draymond Green, fresh off a punch in Yusuf Nurkic in the face, has been suspended indefinitely. Now, we've already had a Draymond suspension this year, so we have some stuff to work with. But we also have to factor in the point that Steve Kerr has been now leaning on his younger guys to close out some of these games because Clay and Wiggins just haven't been getting it done. You now pluck Draymond out of there. Looney's been playing limited minutes. Guys like Jonathan Kuminga, who's got a cap of 19 and projects right around 30 as well, is somebody that really stands out. Kuminga here for his limited card, you can see at $19.57. His rare jumps up all the way to 50, but it's not just Kuminga. Even though Moses Moody isn't a direct correlation of Draymond missing time because they play different positions, I do like what the Warriors have been getting out of Moses Moody. He has a cap of 18, so that jumps him up a little bit. And the other one we need to shout out is the guy Pajemski, who's been closing games. His cap has already jumped up to 22. He's a little bit more pricey because, look, it's got the shiny rookie card. But I think paying attention to what the Warriors do over this weekend will give us an edge moving forward, assuming Draymond misses, I don't know, 5 to 7 games, maybe more. So there you have it. That is this week's episode of Value Hunting for Game Week 15 as we head into the weekend. If this is your first time checking out a Team Hold Sorare channel, do me a favor, like the video, hit the subscribe. If you're new here, we do a live before lock show before every single game week, Mondays and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We bring on guests from the Sorare NBA community. We give away a rare tier card. We deep dive into the projections and injury news, and then help make some solid lineups for the upcoming game week. Appreciate you watching. Good luck this weekend. Game week 15 on Sorare.